At first glance, there was nothing particularly unusual about a man sitting beneath the shade of an umbrella, reading a book at the rooftop garden of the Alder Heights complex. But for some reason, his quiet presence set off a chain of reactions that would soon ripple through the entire high-rise community. His name? Marcus Wynn, mid-40s, relaxed posture, wearing a faded gray tank top and simple khaki shorts. A pair of well-worn flip-flops lay near his feet. In his hands, a copy of Strategic Mindsets for Crisis Management, its cover creased from use. His focus was absolute, his demeanor calm. Then came Cynthia Harding, clipboard in hand, sunglasses perched atop a perfectly styled bob, and a floral silk wrap fluttering behind her like a flag of manufactured authority. Next to her was Todd, the building's newest security officer, a guy who took his job a little too seriously. Square-jawed, aviators, and that walk that screams, "I'm the law around here." Without so much as a hello, they stopped in front of Marcus like he was a problem to solve. "This lounge is reserved for residents of the Pentwater Tower," Cynthia declared, tapping her pen against her clipboard. "Access is limited to verified residents and their pre-approved guests." Marcus looked up slowly, folding a corner of the page he'd been reading with deliberate care. "Sorry, was there a posted sign I missed?" "No offense," Todd added, stepping in. "But we've never seen you here before. Gonna need some ID." "Sure," Marcus replied calmly. "I live here. Unit 2401. Cynthia scoffed. "That's a penthouse suite." "It is." More residents began peeking out from behind shaded loungers. A family paused on their way to the grilling patio. Even the landscaper, trimming hedges, turned off his electric shears to listen. "And yet," Cynthia said, eyeing Marcus up and down, "you're here unannounced with no ID, wearing that." She gestured vaguely at his outfit. Todd pulled out his phone and started scrolling. "Pulling up the resident roster now. What's your last name again?" "Wynn," Marcus said. "Wynn." Cynthia smirked. "Probably a subletter, or someone crashing a friend's unit." "It's possible," Marcus said mildly, "that I just enjoy peace and quiet without needing to announce myself." Todd frowned at his screen. No record of a lounge booking today under that name. "Lounge booking?" Marcus asked. "When did that start?" "Last month." "New policy," Cynthia chirped, eyes gleaming. "You need to register via the management app." "Ah," Marcus said, nodding slowly. "Didn't realize enjoying your own patio required a reservation." The conversation dropped into a lull, the atmosphere tightening like a drum. Then Marcus pulled out his phone, calmly dialed, and spoke into the receiver. "Hey, Dana, could you send me a copy of the resident policy regarding use of the Sky Garden? Just had a curious encounter up here." Cynthia crossed her arms. "Who are you calling?" "Someone in management," Marcus said. "Unlike you, she actually knows who lives here." "Sir," Todd interjected, stepping closer, "you need to cooperate or vacate. If you're not in the system, you're trespassing." A woman from Unit 3207 whispered to her husband, "This feels off." Just then, a voice called out from the terrace door. "What's going on here?" It was Paula Rosen, head of the residence board and self-declared queen of the tower. Hair perfectly blown out, holding a tablet, and the confidence of someone who believed decorum was a weapon. "I heard there was a situation," she said, eyeing Marcus like a puzzle piece from the wrong set. "Do you mind telling me your unit again?" "Penthouse 2401. She blinked. That's not possible. That unit belongs to me," Marcus said, standing up fully for the first time. He was taller than he looked sitting down, and something about his presence made the entire rooftop go still. Paula's smile faltered. "Wait, what do you mean it's yours?" "I purchased it 3 years ago. Oversaw most of the design myself, including this rooftop." Murmurs swept through the growing crowd. Some residents had pulled out phones. A few were already typing into search bars. Todd looked panicked now. "Hold on, Mr. Wynn." A new voice cut through the confusion. "Mr. Wynn, I'm so sorry." A young woman in business casual rushed forward, tablet in hand. "I was just called by our managing partner. We weren't told you'd be visiting the garden today." "I wasn't visiting," Marcus replied. "I was reading," and apparently triggering a security response by existing. Cynthia took a shaky step backward. This has all been a misunderstanding. No, it hasn't, Marcus said, voice still even. It's been a very clear understanding of how certain people are treated when others think they don't belong. Then came a bombshell. Phones buzzed. The residents' group chat lit up. Marcus Wynn, founder and CEO of Wynn Dynamics, investor behind Alder Heights Development, major donor to the city's urban equity initiative. Paula took a step back. We didn't know. Exactly, Marcus said. And that's the problem. Silence reigned, heavy and shame-laced. Then Marcus addressed the crowd directly. The real issue isn't who I am. It's how quickly some of you were willing to believe I didn't deserve to be here based solely on appearance. He paused, letting the words settle. I built this building, he said, literally, and yet not one of you thought to question the assumptions being made, until it became clear I had money. Todd's radio crackled again, confirming resident Wynn, Marcus, penthouse owner, rooftop garden contributor. Cynthia's clipboard slipped from her hands. This doesn't need to end in firings or viral shame, Marcus continued, scanning the group. But it does need to be a turning point. Then he did something unexpected. He walked over to Todd and extended a hand. Security needs better training. Start there. Todd, clearly stunned, accepted the handshake. As for Cynthia, she simply turned and walked away, her authority dissolving behind her designer sunglasses. The rooftop emptied slowly after that. A few stayed behind to apologize. Others left in silence, thoughts clearly racing. Marcus sat back down, picked up his book, and flipped to his folded page. From behind his sunglasses, he looked out over the skyline, the wind gently tugging at the pages of a story that had suddenly become much bigger than anyone expected. And the city for once listened. In the end, it wasn't the confrontation that defined what happened on that rooftop. It was the realization. A community designed to symbolize success had exposed something far uglier, the fragility of respect when stripped of wealth or status. For Marcus Wynn, it wasn't the first time someone questioned his right to occupy a space. But this time, the lesson wasn't his to learn. It belonged to everyone else. The people who had whispered, doubted, recorded, and judged would leave with something heavier than embarrassment. They'd carry the knowledge that they didn't just witness bias. They participated in it. And not one of them had asked the most important question, what if we're wrong? As the sun dipped behind the city skyline, casting long shadows across the Alder Heights rooftop, it wasn't silence that settled in. It was awareness. The kind that lingers. The kind that changes people if they let it. Some residents later tried to reach out to Marcus. A few apologized. Others sent letters. One neighbor left a handwritten note on his door. You were right. It shouldn't take power to earn respect. Marcus responded to no one directly. He didn't need to. His message had been clear. True community isn't measured by HOA fees, square footage, or the view from a balcony. It's measured by how we treat one another when no one's watching. And for a brief, uncomfortable moment, Alder Heights had been forced to look at itself, not in its sleek windows or polished marble, but in the mirror of its own behavior. Policy changes followed. Mandatory bias training for staff. New community guidelines around resident interactions. A formal apology issued by the buildings board. But those were just paperwork. The real change was slower, more human. Conversations started in elevators. Greetings lasted a little longer. People saw each other differently. Marcus? He kept to his routine. Quiet, observant, always with a book in hand. But now when he sat on the rooftop, people didn't look away. They nodded. Some joined him. Not out of guilt, but growth. Because what happened that day wasn't just a reckoning. It was a reset. A reminder that sometimes all it takes is one person sitting still to show everyone else how much they've been rushing to the wrong conclusions. And this time, they were finally ready to listen.